Assalamualaikum. Welcome and very good evening to all the audience and family. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for allocating your time on our forum today. Our topic is digital learning and work. Is it effective or not? First of all, I would like to introduce our panel for the forum. First, we have Mr. Fakhrul, as an analyst from Ministry of Education. Next, we have Ms. Ika, as a businesswoman. Third, we have Dr. AFLAH, as a professor of management in Department of Education from UCM. Mrs. Shahirah, a mother of 2 children. And lastly, Ms. AMIRAH, as a student. Welcome to our forum for today. Hope all of you working during class. My name is AFIQAH, will be your moderator for today. Audience and family, as today, we are having our forum. Let me briefly explain what has been happening in the past 2 years that relates to our main topic. Currently, when the world is struggled with the COVID-19 outbreak, as we all know, many countries have established movement control order (MCO), where people are being ordered to stay at home and all activities are being restricted in order to control the spread of COVID-19. This includes the education and work sector, where some of its operations are being ordered to close. Due to this, distance learning and working has become the preferred method to conduct learning and working sessions usually online, where they can be accessed at any time and anywhere. However, is it effective or not? Each person has their own opinion about our topic today, distance learning and work based on their situation. Without further ado, I would like to call on Mr. Fakhrul as the first panelist, an analyst from the Ministry of Education. Do you think distance learning and work are as effective as they could be? What is your opinion, Mr. Fakhrul?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I greet to all of the panel today and the viewers. First of all, I would like to thank Miss Moderator, Miss AFIQAH, for having me in such an interesting forum today. Based on our topic today, I will split my perspective into 2 parts. The first is about the factors that affect students' performance during ODL, and secondly is a bit more off scope, which is about my experience throughout the online working environment. So first of all, first and foremost, after the pandemic sudden attack in the past few years, which I believe is in 2020, we have created a whole new environment for our academic learning process, which is open and distance learning (ODL), and not only in Malaysia but the entire world now applying the same concept. However, for us Malaysians, I would say that we are still a newbie to adapt with this kind of environment, as the students and teachers would prefer the old traditional style of the learning process, which, as we all know, the face-to-face style. Okay, now back to our main topic. I would like to mention that effectiveness of ODL could be affected by many factors. The most crucial one is the information and communication technology (ICT) and the support system itself. Based on statistics as of 2020, there were 93.5% of the population in Malaysia had access to 4G LTE mobile network. However, not all of the students can access their internet well, since there were students who live in the countryside, suffer slow and unstable internet connection. For instance, when there is an ODS station, assuming the student focuses all the time throughout the session, and suddenly the internet connection lost, so the student will surely miss an important point from his or her teacher. Thus, for sure, the student's motivation will drop, as well as his or her performance, if this kind of things happen every time during online class. Speaking about internet connection, it must come along with gadgets, right? Such as mobile phones, tablets, PCs, and laptops, or otherwise the internet connection might be useless, isn't it? In addition, there are various types of gadgets that's based on their specs and the performance, etc. The most common gadgets that students use the most are phones and laptops. However, those gadgets come with different specs and obviously different performances. Students who are using high quality or high spec phones such as Apple and Samsung might be facing less technical problems as compared to students who are using lower spec phones. Therefore, this kind of thing will affect the motivation of the student for them to participate actively in the online classes. Based on the research by students from UiTM Malacca branch, out of 631 respondents, 571 of the respondents have access to laptops and computers usage, while on the other side, it is shown that 670 students have access to online classes using smartphones. I am not planning to talk more since the other panels are waiting and have no patience anymore to deliver their point out. So last but certainly not least, as I mentioned earlier, based on my experience and perspective throughout the online working environment, for me there is no issue as there were no differences if I carry out my duty as an analyst, whether in the office as well as at home, since my job scope is already online oriented and I have quite a lot of facilities within my residence area in order to make the job done. Therefore, to conclude, in the online environment, whether for learning or working, you must have at least a good internet connection and suitable gadgets and setups in order for it to be at its maximum effectiveness. That is pretty much it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fakhrul, for your answer that has successfully clarified that it is effective to have distance learning and working. Next, I would like to ask the second question to Ms. Ika, the second panel for this forum discussion. Regarding what has been stated by Mr. Fakhrul, our first forum discussion panel, can you as a businesswoman explain the effectiveness of distance working for e-commerce business?
Thank you, moderator, for the question. Before answering the question, I will explain what is e-commerce. E-commerce is any transaction of goods and services that are done over the internet. It refers to buying an item or services online with an electronic payment method such as credit or debit card or digital wallet service. A big company that use e-commerce business is like Shopee, Lazada, and other websites such as IKEA. Okay, to answer the question, it is effective because it gives more advantages to e-commerce business during this current pandemic situation. First advantage on distance working is able to use low cost, such as store rental costs. Some of people that do e-commerce business are rarely to have a huge store and office. They are more likely to have a small office and using it to keep their business products. In order for distance working, employees are only work at home, thus it can reduce office utility bills like electricity. Next is e-commerce business are easy to get employees around the world. In this current situation, our society have a lot of time on social media as they are working and learning online. Some of them have been laid off due to company's financial problem. So they need to figure out what is the easy way to earn money and survive, and the way is do an online business. They can start with being a dropshipper or an agent. And as a result, e-commerce business can increase the employees around the world. This business do not have to worry about their salary because they will get their commission based on their sales. Hence, it will be more easier for advertising. Other than Instagram ads or Facebook ads, dropshipper and agents for business are also post and advertise the products to their friends and family. It will make the products spread all over the world according to their taste. If the business using an online platform such as Shopee and Lazada, the customers itself will come and buy the product through the apps. As a result, it is much way easier to reach out to potential customers. In conclusion, e-commerce business is not affected in order for distance working. However, these businesses are able to adapt to current situation and manage to increase the sales and reduce the expenses. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ika, for your opinion on the effectiveness of distance working as it provides many advantages. For the next round, I would like to request Dr. AFLAH as a Professor of Management in Department Education from UKM to give her opinion on the topic of our forum today.
Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all the panelists and moderator. First of all, I want to thank our moderator, Mr. AFIQAH, for inviting me to participate in such a fascinating discussion today. So, based on our topic today, I can directly state that distance learning has become the preferred method to conduct the education method since the world is plagued with a COVID-19 outbreak, where many countries had established movement control order. All educational institutions in Malaysia are encouraged to conduct education sessions through distance learning. However, distance learning has its own advantages and disadvantages that will affect those who use it. In my opinion, as a lecturer in UKM, distance learning was described as a poor way of teaching due to the lack of interactions between lecturers and students. In education, educators have an important role in ensuring that the teaching and learning process occurs. When there is a lack of physical interaction between lecturers and students lost personal interactions with their educators and their mental development may suffer as a result, which makes it impossible for them to motivate them as they do in the classroom. Secondly, despite the fact that online learning facilities were widely available before the COVID-19 outbreak, many lecturers are using the platform for the first time after the government shut down all universities due to the virus rapid spread. All lecturers have yet to receive complete training on the system, causing several to seek for extra seminars on the subject. Based on the research, up to 65% of lecturers in Police Malaysia advocated for additional online classroom management workshops to be held. While in the Peking University of China, the virus has forced the education sector to implement online live courses for 2,613 undergraduate and 1,824 postgraduate modules. The widespread adoption of online learning has raised concerns about a lack of online teaching experience, early preparations, and technological assistance. A study from Fiji, Japan, lecturers' willingness to change and adapt to the new standard as the most important factor in integrating technology into the educational system. Other than that, many lecturers believe that planning lessons and teaching online are much more difficult than learning in person. It is very tough to get students to understand, test or monitor the learning process because every quiz and test created is an open book. The lecturer is unable to check the performance of students in learning, whether they understand the learning or not. It is also hard for lecturers to come up with a variety of interesting exercises as they will do in traditional classes. Moreover, lecturers and students' technological capabilities are still restricted. They think that technical issues are one of the most significant barriers to online teaching. Devices, transmission signals, and other factors play a large role in teaching and learning. Compatibility concerns with the operating system, browser, or smartphone, courses never starting, or students not knowing how to proceed are all very common challenges. If someone has trouble with any of the above, teaching is disrupted or unable to be completed properly. Finally, I want to conclude from the above statement that I have mentioned before. Distance learning is not effective for lecturers because there are many disadvantages that are very concerning for lecturers. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. AFLAH, for the opinion on your situation of a lecturer. Let's move on to the parents' perspective view that will be on Mrs. Shahirah from the experience that you something you want to share on this learning effectiveness and what is your opinion?
First of all, thank you in particular for inviting me and allowing me to give a talk today. From a parent's point of view, in my opinion, distance learning presents incredible challenges and opportunities for teachers, parents, and students during this pandemic. From 2020 to 2022, as learning moved from home to school, the changing environment demands a lot of flexibility and resilience. Everyone's situation is different. Some students and their families find it easier to intentionally study independently at home than others. Some digitally savvy young people and I very struggle with educational skills. At the same time, as a mother and as a parent, hoping for the best is to make our children have the opportunity to learn and explore conducive even at home. The effectiveness of our children's online learning actually depend on us, practically, spiritually, mentally, even on the expenditure for technological tools which are certainly not cheap. As I experienced this before and even now, here I want to share with you all the tips for unfamiliar distance learning environment for your children. It can help you to be ready for some of the effective and more practical aspect of learning from home. The first one is establish routine and expectation. It is very important to develop good habits from the beginning. To create a flexible routine and talk about how it's working over time, such as what classes subject do you have today? How far do you get in your learning class today? Just a simple question. It is because parents are good life coach. Just your day into practicable segment. Help your children to get up, get dressed, and be ready to learn at a reasonable time. Keep normal bedtime routines, including normal rules for digital device. Adjust schedules to meet everyone's needs. Second is, choose a good place to learn. Your family's regular learning space for occasional homework might not work for extended periods. Set up a physical location that dedicated to school-focused activities. Make sure it is quiet, free from distraction, and has a good internet connection. Noise cancelling headphones are an idea. Make sure an adult monitor online learning. We keep the doors open at practice good digital safety. So the third is, next is the third. The third one is help students on their learning. No one expects parents to be full-time teacher or to be educational and content making expert. Provide support and encouragement and expect your children to do their part. Struggling is allowed and encourage it. Don't help them too much because it helps them become more independent and it takes a lot of practice. So the last but not least, encourage physical activity and exercise. Living and working at home, we all need some room to let off steam. Moving independently and together as a family is a vital to health, well-being and readiness for learning. Set a new fitness goal and plan hands-on, life-ready activity that keep hands busy, keep moving and mind engaged. Now is a good time to think about increasing our personal responsibility of our health and teaching it. So I believe with these guidelines, please act as a parent, are more organized, managing the difficulties of learning of our children. Besides, it does not only create the effectiveness of our children online learning, but it also enhance the bond between parents and children as they are able to spend more time with us. That sometimes we miss in our normal life back then before the pandemic happened. That's all for me.
Oh, I see. So about your work, I do believe that you are currently working from home. Do you find some difficulties with it? Is it effective or not?
Oh, that's a good, very good question. So even though there are a lot of challenges to make it happen, as well, I'm also struggling with new normal working at home most of the time during this pandemic. As a parent who are currently working, I do personally like the advantage of working at home except for the disruption in the house, which is indeed an inevitable thing. Therefore, we have to look on the bright side, such as while working from home, we can have a better work-life balance. Many remote jobs also come with flexible schedules, which means that workers can start and end their day as they choose, as long as their work is complete and leads to strong outcome. For example, we are able to fit in household chores around our working day and more free time in the evening with washing a dishwasher or preparing dinner on our lunch break. It's all easier to balance when we work from home. It also improves our health and well-being. Working from home eliminates the need for a commute to work that can be stressful to us, such as being stuck on the road jam in order to go to work. In exchange, we can get some time saving and get extra health benefits, such as getting enough additional sleep, spending more time with family, exercise, or preparing healthier meals. Furthermore, it also helps us our stress level on the finance, so that we can improve and save on our spending by buying the more important. For now, the important thing is on the internet and the digital tools. Even working from home, we still have to work to earn a salary and to support our family. So with that, I think it also one of the investments that are need nowadays that lead to the efficiency and effectiveness of my YouTube and the distance learning of my children. Therefore, what I can conclude here is that there are a lot of benefits and disadvantages via distance learning and work during this pandemic. We as a parent have to take any action to make it work. Alhamdulillah, so far my husband and also have really such a good moral support, and I will cooperate with me in whatever situation it is. Please communicate with your partner at a certain point when it is hard. Inshallah, everything will be easy and as effective as we want. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Shahirah. It is clear that you believe there are pros and cons in either achieving the effectiveness of distance learning or lessons that have to be faced according to their respective situation. Now, we will continue with our last panelist, which is Ms. AMIRAH. Ms. AMIRAH is one of the students in IT engineering. So, is there any perspective you want to share as a student is related to our main topic? You are welcome to share.
I would like to say thank you to our moderator for your question and inviting me to share my perspective as a student. As a student in Malaysia, we are used to face-to-face learning, so it gets a little bit hard for us to cope with ODL, which is online distance learning, since it is unfamiliar for us. Negotiating distance learning class for those unfamiliar with computer technology can involve your feelings of anxiety and stress. Coping with unfamiliar studies and assessment schedules and the development of the research and writing skill necessary to be successful. Scholarship often means juggling work with and family commitment and dealing with accompanying feelings of guilt and frustration. Even those who are deemed free of having responsibility can find themselves seriously distracted from their goals as they learn how to cope with new social freedoms and identities. Under such pressure, it is not surprising that many students may find themselves struggling to cope with feelings of inequality and isolation. While online learning can mitigate some of the undesirable consequences of university life in 21st century, such as equity of access for distant or working students, it may also exacerbate other issues. On top of that, there is a lack of communication between the student and the educator. During ODL, none of us have met each other. Not knowing what the personality of a person is in the meeting, the feeling of uncomfortable and guilty makes everyone awkward and afraid to even voice out the thought that has been in their mind. As far as we understand that in the learning process, students will have the moment when they cannot pick up with the lecture or might not understand the content delivered. and wanted to ask for help, but with the feeling of guiltiness and uncomfortable, the students could not let the words out of their mouth, especially for the introverts. As a result, there is a gap between the learners and educators, causing certain content to be missed and misunderstood by the students, making the learning process more difficult for the students and may lead to unmotivated students. Not just that, since COVID-19 attacked us, everyone must be at home and practicing social distancing so that the transmission of the virus can be controlled. This caused the students to do ODL while at home, which not every house has a proper place to study, plus not everyone can afford to have ODL tools such as a laptop or iPad or even a phone. Lack of an internet connection could be one of the difficulties to ensure the seamless operation of the online distance learning process. Not only that, but there are other issues that can arise, such as being disturbed by siblings or having to obey the instruction of parents who are unaware of the scenario in which students find themselves. As a result, it makes students exposed to depression, which might lead to them acting erratically. Last but not least, as for me, a student from the ITM, ODI has its own good, yet despite its goodness, it will always have a negative side. Then more attention must be paid because this can obscure the online distance learning process, particularly the students' mental health difficulties.
Thank you, Ms. AMIRAH, for your opinion as a student. Mr. Fakhrul, what are your thoughts on how to improve the effectiveness of online learning as well as work?
Thank you, Ms. Moderator, for the question. First of all, the effectiveness of ODL could be improved by the student itself. They have to implement the self-dependent style of learning in order for them to adapt with the current learning process environment. They have to take the responsibility to be more independent in managing their own time, carrying out their own study plan, as well as reducing things that can distract their learning performance, especially for the teenagers either at the level of high school or university level, as well as the primary students are concerned. This is where their parents took a major role in strictly controlling or managing their child's schedule, because obviously primary students cannot manage their own schedule yet. It is because when the parents are not alert with their children's situation, it can lead to failure of the students to attend their online classes, because as you guys know already, technologies now have many distractions that can turn the students' focus to somewhere else. For example, online games, social medias, YouTube, and many more. Now, as far as online working is concerned, the employees themselves need to be more aware of the current advanced technology, which requires higher personal skills. Therefore, they have to learn about how to handle ICT things such as Microsoft and Google applications. Not only the simple matters, but they also have to possess the advanced skills such as the knowledge about shortcuts, etc. I think that is probably it for online working. Oh, I forgot something, sorry. They should also learn on how to handle their gadgets problem, as it could be an important matter, as if there were no nearby shops for them to repair their gadgets, especially during the office hours. Thank you.
It is such a good suggestion, Mr. Fakhrul. Next, Ms. Ika, do you think that there are any disadvantages of distance working for e-commerce?
E-commerce business. The best niches are usually the most competitive in their niche. Consequently, customers will have many options to choose from. The probability for a customer to decide on and buy one type of product are very low depending on number of companies or person that sell the product. For example, if we search on Google or on shopping platform one type of product, we can see there is 100,000 of options that will come out. Okay. Then, in every businesses around the world, there is various type of customers, such as impatient and chatty customers. If it was a physical sales in store, that is much easier to confront the customers to avoid losing customers. But if it was a virtual sales through apps, it is very hard to explain to the customers dissatisfaction in detail, because they can only see in our chat and do not reply anything. So as a result, customers will choose another option. They will buy to another person or company. Other than that, customers that already bought leave a negative feedback. The negative feedback sometimes because of a bit different of measurement or the color is slightly different. Honestly, as a commerce business, we know that we have to mention this problem in the description of products or tell customer in the person. So when they leave those negative feedback, the customers that see the feedback will choose another company's product. Okay, the last type of customers that we e-commerce business need to face is impatient customer. This type of customers, they will choose a business that have fastest delivery. Sometimes they want to they buy, but they want to use it as soon as possible. So I used to meet this kind of person. They text me in the evening, like at 6 p.m. and they want me to post their order that day. So I do explain to them my posting time. I say in politely, I say, I'm so sorry. If you want to join the post order today, you need to do an order before 5 p.m. But after that time, we will post tomorrow. But as a customer, they still have other choice, so they did not even care and cancel the order. So we do lose our customers there. Okay, so to conclude, I would say that even though there is any disadvantages in commerce business, but still we can avoid it. That's all from me.
Thank you, Ms. Ika. Although there are some disadvantages about this therapy, do you think it is can overcome based on perspective of lecturer Dr. AFLAH?
Thank you, Ms. Moderator. That was a good question. For me, if there is disadvantages, there must be a solution. First of all, is by increased communication between lecturers and students. A lecturer must give feedback on the assignments, exams, quizzes, and projects on a daily basis. Feedback gives students a sense of achievements and protects them from feeling isolated. On all assignments, lecturers or peers should provide feedback with suggestions for improvement and praises for good work. Lecturers also can engage with students in smaller groups, allowing them to speak more freely and collaborate in a more conducive environment. As a result, lecturers can monitor a student's performance very easily because there is communication between students and lecturers. Other than that, lecturers should be provided with training sessions and workshops on how to use a learning application or any platform. This is because the lecturer will be an expert in using the application or platform as a result of the training, and there will be no issues if there are any problems operating the applications. As a consequence, students can learn comfortably and understand a subject without the application interrupting their learning. That's all from me. Thank you.
It is such a good opinion, Dr. AFLAH. How about you, Ms. AMIRAH? Can you share how to improve the effectiveness of digital learning for students?
Sure. Students and educators have been plunged into a whole new world because of the shift to remote learning. To assist learners, educators must first identify potential bottlenecks and challenges, after which they must devise innovation solutions. Making something interactive is one of the most effective methods to get students more involved in what they are doing. Learners have no choice but to get involved and take an active role in their learning while using interactive online learning experience. To help students improve the effectiveness of online distance learning, there are a few ways that we need to consider. First, we have to make sure students understand the tools given to them. In the past few months, students have had to adjust the whole new way of learning. This includes mastering new learning management system and communication tools. Many of them are entirely new territory, so are their parents. They won't be able to learn effectively if they can't navigate these new systems. Consider holding an orientation season to familiarize students and their parents with this system. Then work with this. Secondly, integrate equity for distance learning. Not every distance learner is going to have access to the same source. Educators must work to create equity whenever they can. Thirdly, connect students with independent learning tools. As distance learning progress, students' needs will become more apparent. Some will need extra help, others will need enrichment to stay engaged. Fortunately, so many organizations and corporations have stepped up to offer resources to help. In addition to this, encourage students to find local source of rich learning. Chances are local libraries, community colleges, and museums have created programs specifically for distance learning. All students may be interested in sharing their discoveries with one another. Fourth, maintain live connection during distance learning. It is important that educators maintain as much of a connection with their students as possible. That can be accomplished through recorded lessons or interactive worksheets. There is no replacement for live interaction. This helps students connect to one another and their instructors. If possible, teachers should plan to do at least some live instruction. In addition to that, they should make time to connect with students individually. Something as simple as a weekly one-on-one meeting will allow educators to check in with each student. Use this meeting to assess students in ways that can be done through group learning interactions. Finally, don't forget that a simple phone call is an easy, accessible way to connect with students. This is the kind of small effort that lets students and parents know that their instructors care enough to reach out to them individually. Fifth, be sensitive and flexible. Even when accommodations are made to help students overcome barriers to connectivity and technical mastery, students may struggle. Not every student will have a dedicated place to work. They may even feel uncomfortable showing themselves and their living space during live classes. Some students may have taken on additional childcare responsibilities due to their parents' own work obligations. This is a good time to extend a bit more grace than usual for students who may not have perfect attendance or complete work on time. Also, consider factors such as bullying and family difficulties when establishing rules for group texting. Students may appreciate having the ability to leave their cameras off or to share an avatar instead of live feed. The students of academic So last but not least, proper planning, previous preparation and access to the necessary resources are essential for success. We can limit practically all activities and experiences we would do in physical classroom online, whether synchronously or asynchronously, with careful planning. Empathy is a key component of effective online learning. We must not overlook the human element if we are to give better online classes.
Thank you, Ms. AMIRAH. So, to conclude, there is effectiveness in discerning our routine, and there is also ineffective according to their respective situations. However, we have to deal with it wisely to ensure that our learning outcome will be effective to each other. Last but not least, I would like to thank again to all of the panelists because it's so good to be our panel for today, and thank you to all the for attending this forum. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.